Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast, where Keith and Doug give no-nonsense advice to level up your life. So buckle up and listen closely to Up Your Average.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to the Up Your Average podcast, Christmas edition. Keith, what are we doing? Where are we today? And who's this guy to my right?
We are hanging out at Niemann Harvest Market, and we have the one, the only Sean Olson joining us today, and he is the local store director here in Carmel, Indiana.
And you know what I just learned about Sean? Let's see if Sean recognizes this place right here.
That looks like Cambridge to me.
Oh,
no. Oh, I'm sorry. I see the eye on the floor. Yes, University of Illinois. That's the State Farm Center, or as I grew up knowing it was the Assembly Hall. So
Okay.
yeah.
So live picture from the State Farm Center.
State Farm Center now. Yeah.
My son LJ was at the game versus
Cool.
Tennessee,
Oh, okay.
and man, what a good game. So you went to Illinois?
I did. Yeah. So I did my undergrad there, and I also went to grad school at the University of Illinois, Champaign. So.
Are you a Champaign kid?
Yeah. Basically, I grew up in a small town called Monticello, about 20 miles west of Champaign. So in between Champaign, or I should say, west of Champaign. So in between Champaign and Decatur, Monticello. We're known for Allerton Park, if you've ever heard of that before.
I have not.
Yeah, Bobby Allerton. It's a big, huge park. They've got the Sun Singer statue and a mansion there from it was donated to the University of Illinois, but it's just a humongous parks, hiking trails, and there are lots of different things that you can do, and events and things that happen out there at Allerton Park. So,
Love it.
yeah,
Sean, is your name spelled the right way?
I believe so. Yeah,
I mean,
last time I checked,
There's a few ways to spell Sean, and
Yeah.
I think he's got the cool way.
SEAN.
But what did your mom or dad teach you about running a premium grocery store?
Well, I would say the biggest takeaway, probably, if you look at upbringing, it's just honesty and integrity. I think that those are kind of the two biggest things. When that those can be applied to a lot of things that you work with in this world. But I think that when it comes to leadership, those are two of the most important things that you can do for your team. It's just focusing on honesty and integrity. Also, humility is a big thing that I think is important, for your team. So a lot of the nitty gritties and things like that operationally, how to build displays and how to work in different departments, whether it's the bakery or the meat shop. Those are different skills. Those are trainable skills. It's the soft skills that you have to focus on. And we try to focus on those soft skills here. That's what we're looking for in associates that we bring to the stores. We want people that have those same kind of values as we do. We want attitude, energy, positivity, passion, and humility. So those are the things that I think, you're looking at soft skills. You can teach anybody how to wrap meat, how to cut meat, but they have to have the passion to want to learn. They have to have a great attitude. So
You have an old soul guy. What you're saying is what my grandpa George Shreve used to talk about when he would train people how to cut hair and style hair. He would say he could train people the business, but he couldn't teach them on attitude. They'd have it just to have it.
right.
And so I really appreciate that. And this store has so much style. I mean, you walk in and the fruit, you don't just see regular fruit piled up.
Yeah.
You see one cut in half so you can see what it looks like.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there's some style here. This is a premium experience. And that's what's drawing Keith here, apparently. You've been coming here for a while.
I have, and there's a number of things that attracted me, and part of it, one of our core principles is to think differently. And I really sensed early on that these folks think differently, and I've kind of sat off to the corner and just watched the business kind of go on as I'm prepping my days. And it's really fascinating to see the way you guys do things different than other folks, and pretty motivating. And I assume that comes back from the heritage of founders of the organization.
Yeah. I mean, the focus, a lot of the impetus for this concept did start with Rich Niemann and his sons 25 years ago, decided to start a cattle farm, start raising cattle. It's a fun way to enhance their hobby of riding horses. Why not get some, we're gonna ride horses. We got some property, why not, raise some cattle? And out of that kind of inspired a bit of this spark was, taking things back to the land. One of our mission statements here is connecting our guests and our associates back to the farmers, the food makers, into the land. So a lot of it does start, back with those traditional concepts of doing things the right way, operating with integrity and honesty, and trying to provide people great food choices and connecting them back to the people behind those food choices.
That seems like a really popular topic today, even with the political shift, with trying to get people to eat healthier and provide just a constant flow of maybe not all processed food, but even when you walk in here, you just see the natural food just jumps out at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that there is a part of that when we talk about connecting people to the food, because we partner with so many different local entrepreneurs or local, small businesses. We refer to them as producers and makers. So, a producer is someone who grows something from the land, raise livestock, growing corn, tomatoes, and a maker is someone who takes those products and adds value to them. Takes the produce and turns it into salsa or creates something out of that product. But we have a better connection to those people and understanding what is behind those products, what's in them, putting them out in front of people right here in the store. So you're able to actually connect with that small business person. I'll use a good example. Downs Mushroom Farm out of Westfield, Indiana. We went out to their home and met with Mark and Julie and got to see their production. We get to see what they're putting into those items. How do you grow the mushrooms, and what is the environment that it's in? How do you enhance the quality? And then they're here in the store as well, sharing that same information with our guests. So there's this level of transparency too about what's in our food and where it comes from. And I think that that's something that's a trend that's been developing over the last, I want to say 10 years. Where people have been more mindful about what's in their food. And I think that now that's also becoming a little bit more talked about with the current, with our new administration that's going to be coming on. That's something that RFK Jr. has been talking about as well, seed oils, food dyes, things of that nature. So
this will sound a little presumptuous, but when I had the opportunity to go to Italy last year, and we stayed at a kind of it wasn't a farm to market, it was farm to table. Like the farm we stayed at, everything that they served us, they grew or produced there. And I ate like a glutton. And I thought, man, when I get home, I'm going to add 10 or 20 pounds. And I didn't add anything. And the only thing I could conclude was it was the natural quality of the food that we were eating there versus what I was accustomed to eating in the States. So it's kind of interesting to me because I've not ever been a kind of a nutrient kind of guy.
Right. And I think that that plays into we talk about these types of things. People sometimes think, wait, our store is just a health store. And it's not really the angle. I mean, there are very healthy items. We embrace the healthy concept. We want to provide good food choices for people. But it's about transparency of food. It's about providing some of those scratch-made options. And those just the byproduct of that is a lot of those locally grown sourced products are free of additives and preservatives and other ingredients that are not really natural to our bodies to process anyway. So if you have something that's like being processed, what's it supposed to do with it? It stores it in unhealthy ways in our body. So I think from that sense is that we do provide healthier options. A lot of times, like people will say, bakery is a good example of that. It's like, how do you have a bakery? Like, is it a healthy bakery? It's like, well, I mean, it's bakery. Donuts are traditionally not healthy, but when we're making scratch donuts, it's not preservatives. A donut should not last for weeks at a time. You pick up a donut at another store and you look at the date on it and it says, February 2025, that should probably tip you off if there's something in there that's probably not very good for you. So we make fresh scratch donuts every single day. And so there is something about that, I think, that is maybe less bad for you than necessarily really great.
Do I understand that there are 3 of these grocery stores out?
Currently, yes.
One on the way in Ann Arbor?
Yes, that's the plan right now. So Ann Arbor would be, I believe, early 2026 is the plan for Ann Arbor. So now our company is over 100 years old, and we have over 100 different retail locations, and we operate 40 or so grocery stores under different banners. But the Harvest Market brand started 8 years ago, and the first store was in Champaign, home of the Fighting Illini. And from that store, we expanded about 4 years ago. They just passed their 4th anniversary on November 11th in Springfield. So that store's been open for 4 years, and then we opened this store on May 15th. So we are about just over the halfway mark for our first year. It's been a fun year so far, and I'm sure Keith can probably attest to just some of the changes that we've even done since the beginning, becoming a little bit more comfortable in our skin and getting better at our processes and trying to become experts in the craft.
It seems like you guys kind of didn't jump into a kind of a low competitive market here either. You've got all kinds of competition around you.
Right.
And I'm just fascinated to watch how you guys integrate and serve the local community.
I think that was one of the conversations that you and I had several weeks ago about competition. And for me, that was one of the more exciting things about this market. And it plays into what you guys are talking about in the podcast about up your average, is putting yourself in an area where it's a little bit more competitive, is that you are benchmarking yourself against higher competition, which is helping you to improve. It's creating inspiration and drive and challenging you to be better at what you do, better at your craft. If you're operating in a market where you're the only retailer in town, it's easy to become complacent. You look at what your competition is, low competition, or if they set the bar low, then you also set your bar low. Being around other players, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Fresh Time, Fresh Market, Market District, Aldi, Meijer, Kroger, Walmart. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And all of those places I named are, within a 10-mile radius of where we're at right now. So it does talk about up your average. You're surrounding yourself with more competition. You are challenging yourself on a daily basis to be better. And I think that probably works both ways, as the other retailers in the market as well are probably feeling that, someone else comes in that's, whether it's creating inspiration or creating competition. And the people that benefit from that are the people that live here in town. Healthy competition makes businesses strive to be better, and then we as consumers reap the benefits of that a lot of times if you have healthy competition.
I can't imagine the idea table that goes on Harvest Market. I mean, this is a restaurant that we're sitting in, a bar, a grocery store, a coffee shop, and I just learned that they do jazz on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
And so, Sean, what's an example of just a complete bust that you guys have tried for the community and it just didn't work? And then how did you deal with it?
Wow. I feel like I'm interviewing for a job. Talk about your strengths. Talk about your strengths and weaknesses. What's the thing that
I'm terrible at details. Too much. Overly detailed.
I work too hard.
I work too hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm going to give you an answer like that. I think it's similar to that because I'll give you a couple of things. One of the philosophies that we embrace here, and this starts with Rich Niemann, and is an idea of try fast, fail cheap.
Keith, you should be writing that down. We're to the report.
Try fast, fail cheap. So that's you're going to find a way to bring something because of the independence that we do have, the ability, because we do a lot of things at store level, we create at store level, allows us to bring something to market very fast. And the R&D process can be pretty quick on that. We can decide whether or not something's going to work for us, whether it's a new recipe, you know, that we roll out, and see what the initial feedback is going to do, bringing a new product, you know, to the sales floor, and reacting quickly to that, and analyzing, is this something that we want to improve, adapt? Is it efficient from a labor standpoint? What's our cost of goods? What's our gross profit in this item? Does the market or do our consumers resonate with this product? And if not, you know, we can move on from it really quickly before we double down and reinvest into it. It could be a good product that might have been launched in a poor way. As we can look at that. Well, why did this fail? You know, was it the packaging? Was it the price? Was it the way that we communicated to it? Did we forget to what's, you know, your 4 P's of marketing: product, place, price, and promotion? So if it's something that we feel like it can be successful for us, we can adapt and change. But otherwise, we can move on quickly from something as well. We don't have a lot invested into it. Another way that I would answer that is some of the events and some of the things that we've tried. You know, here at the store, we were doing music bingo. I ran the Springfield store for 3 years, and trying to build events through this store is very important to who we are. I tell all of our associates is that this is not a grocery store. It's a shopping experience. It's a food destination. So trying to find things that enhance that, and some of the events that we do, you mentioned jazz and live music, trivia, and to my point, music bingo was something new that I was trying. And at first it felt like it wasn't really taking off. There was, you know, maybe a couple of people that were there, and I thought, well, what do I do? Is this an opportunity for me to pivot? Should I move on from this? The investment in this was very low. Basically, the software for that was an extremely low investment as a trial through a partnership that we had. And I thought it wasn't worth moving on from because our investment was low. Let's stick with it. Let's be consistent and see if we can grow it. And continuing to promote that in a better way, you know, I pivoted. It was just, you know, I'm going to double down on this. And we grew that. It was something that I didn't see any other bars really embracing, or restaurants. Something, a different draw to the store. And we've brought that same thing to this store, and that music bingo is even something that they've done in the Champaign location as well. And just kind of sticking to that, being consistent and sticking to it, you can grow and you can build from that. It has become something that's been very successful for us. So
Yeah, you did totally answer.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. Something that failed, or I thought that was going to fail, but it's been a success for us, and it's something that can be a lot of fun. But it was on the verge of, you know, where something that I thought of, maybe I do pivot away from this and try something else. You know, we did yoga for a while. I did yoga in the store, and that was something. We did yoga in the grocery store, and I moved it around, did it upstairs. I moved all the furniture around. I tried offering a glass of wine, like wine and yoga. Once you get done, I think people didn't. They were like, "I just got to working out. Why do I want to have a glass of wine?" So we tried, you know, a coupon for the salad bar, and we eventually, that was something that we pivoted away from. You know,
Doug, you answered the question. What's something Gimbel's done that, like, it was outside the box and you didn't know whether it'd go or not? Like, what comes to mind for you?
Well, one of the things that comes to mind is you've had this idea to do breakfast at Gimbel. And we had one of my good friends, his name's Colt. Hi, Colt, if you're listening. And Colt has just a awesome story. And he's a guy that you just love to listen to. You'd love to introduce your friends to. And we had Colt as a guest speaker come for one of our breakfasts. And I think Colt's mom came and maybe one other guy. And it was just a complete flop.
Colt taught me how to do scrambled eggs. I was cooking them too hot. Remember? So that's what I took away from it. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. We've had some flops.
Yeah.
But what was the mantra again that you're
try fast, fail cheap.
Oh gosh.
I think that's really sweet.
So good.
I think that's kind of the essence of how we trade, don't you think? Like what we do investment wise, we don't say it quite like that. But we're not looking to hold on to something that's going nowhere.
Do it quickly.
Yeah. We want something that's going to make money for y'all, and so it may cause us to fail fast. Yeah. What I'm really curious about, like when I sit in here and look around and I ponder what I've sensed has happened in our culture since COVID, I sense the work ethic in America has been diluted a little bit. I sense challenged attitudes at different places. I saw a meme recently that said something to the effect that, ladies and gentlemen, Walmart shoppers, now we're going to expect you to unload the semis as well as check yourself out. And so when I watch your team here, I see just a camaraderie. I see an attitude that's really unusual from a lot of places that I visit. I was just wondering what it is you guys do that creates the attitude of we're here to help you.
Well, I think that definitely talking about something that's very prevalent in service industry, but food service, restaurants, your retail stores, and a move away from that service model. And how can you find ways to cut back on them, whether it's an inability to find help or inability to keep them, or just an inability to get people into that service level. What the cost of labor is too is contributing to that. You're seeing the pandemic created challenges in a number of different ways. We raised the cost of labor by employment of the available to the supply, right? The demand can change for labor and supply did. So there's a number of different factors, and to that effect, we have been seeing it swimming upstream. We're service and quality focused, so that's a unique challenge in that the rest of the industry is moving one direction, you want to move another. It's a great differentiation strategy for us as far as helping us from a competitive advantage, and that we can differentiate us from other retailers. But it's also takes a lot of effort and energy to maintain that, and it starts with the hiring process. It starts with understanding what your core values are. Again, I talk about attitude, energy, passion, humility. Those are the four things that we look for. We want people that embrace the idea of valuing service and quality as well. We want like-minded individuals, people that appreciate the integrity of great food that tastes great, or good food that tastes great. And then that's also supported once you identify those people and trying to put them in the right positions. And there's a lot of times where I'll have somebody that they'll apply for a grocery position or apply for a dishwasher position. But I try to understand, what's your passion? What do you like? What do you enjoy? What do you do at home? Do you bake? Do you like to eat cheese? Are you a seafood person? Are you a meat person? Are you more vegetable based? Trying to understand what people's passions are, what their interests are, because putting them in a position where they're going to succeed, something that they can be passionate about, something that they're going to enjoy doing is very important. You have to take that into consideration. They might have seen just one post on Indeed and thought, I need a job, I'm going to go for that. But taking that person, especially if there's somebody that has that passion for what you want, they fit your culture, now find the right place to put them. And then when they get here, make sure that you develop and that you train them. Culture training is extremely important for us. We take people around the store. We explain to them where all the different items come from, what the stories are behind those local small business owners, that they have to understand who are Moore's Pies out of Kokomo, Indiana. What are they about? Why did they take over this? Who are Josh and Brittany? What is their story behind them? And in doing that and connecting that with people, I think that you're providing your team with the necessary knowledge that they need to be successful. You're putting them in positions that they enjoy, it's genuine. You can say you want to give great customer service, but you're going to do that when it's coming for a more genuine, authentic place. And so those are some of the things that we focus on here.
Tell me this, how far is Champaign from here?
2 hours and 2 minutes.
2 hours and 2 minutes. So one of the things that caught my attention was Miranda. And I'd encourage you to stop by for a cup of coffee. And Miranda, I think, runs that part of the business. Does. And when we were chatting, and I asked her, well, how do you like working here and things of that nature? She told me that when she joined the company, she drives 45 minutes to an hour from Greenwood to get to the store, and then jumped in a van and rode 2 hours to Champaign for training every day. 2 hours back and an hour. And I was listening to her story. I'm like, who does that? Somehow she's motivated to do that, to be part of the team, which is unbelievable, I thought.
Yeah, I think, again, it's we try to empower people as well. So, we say run your business. So you have a great opportunity here in the store, these different places. You mentioned all the different departments that exist: a bar, restaurant, coffee and sweet shop, full service seafood, butcher shop, delicatessen, butter churn, cheese shop, what you have is essentially 12 different businesses that operate underneath one roof. And we treat that as such. The P&L, everyone's responsible for managing their own P&L. They have financial key performance indicators that they have to work on. What are your sales, gross profit, labor control, things of that nature. So we empower them to do that. And I think that resonates with people who have the entrepreneurial spirit, right? And that they want to try to hone those skills of running and developing a business, and you have a great opportunity to do that here. And that can be very exciting for people, is that you have some ownership in what you do, and you have some autonomy over what you're doing at work and how you're controlling and being profitable. If you're successful in this model, if you're able to operate a profitable business, then you also stand to be rewarded for it. So it's also how you take care of people from rewards or incentives.
I brought Connie over here for the first time right before Thanksgiving, and we were standing back by the butcher shop and looking over the turkeys to decide which one was going on the green egg, right? And we were bantering back and forth about which turkey to grab. And I don't know what involvement the butcher shop has with it, but I said to the butcher, the young lady that was back there, I said, why should I go for the fresh turkey?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, you'll notice the difference in the taste. And that bad boy was running around on an Amish farm last week. And I thought, how cool is that? Yeah. It was on the Amish farm last week and my smoker this week. And it was delish. Yeah.
So you did the Amish raised.
Yes.
Yeah. Extremely popular. And that's something that we've brought with us from Champaign and to Springfield and now here to Indiana. And it takes a little bit of finagling to make that work, but we really truly believe, especially in the small partnerships that we have with entrepreneurs, is trying to do things. Our success is their success, and their success is our success. So trying to find different distribution partners for people, even if that means at times that we're going to increase our costs. I'll give you a great example. With our Little Farm on the Prairie eggs, based out of Morris, Illinois. So they were a self-distributing company, and we connected them with a distributor so that we would ensure that we'd be able to bring them with us to other stores. It's the only egg we ever cracked in the entire store. Every egg in the bakery, every egg in the deli or any one of our restaurants. That's the only egg that we use, is that Little Farm on the Prairie egg, because we believe in the quality that Aaron and his family instill into their farming practices. And we believe that is a high quality egg. And so we wanted to do everything we could to bring it with us. And so connecting them with the distribution partner is essentially raising our cost of goods, but it's what's best for us as an operator long term, because it allows us to have a truly high quality ingredient item that we can bring with us as we expand into other areas. So that same thing with with that Amish raised. I had to pull some strings and get some distribution strings to be able to bring that. It comes from Arthur, Illinois. And so we had to arrange special transportation in order to get those birds here. And again, to your point, is that a few days before they arrived at the store, they were walking around. And you're on the clock. You want to get them here fast and get them out on the floor and get them ready for people so they can get them prepared for their dinners as well.
I think, like, there's a lot of reasons I wanted us to hang out today. I think I'm not one really to complain about things, but one of the evolutions in my lifetime I've seen is the pressure on small businesses to not exist.
Yeah.
The regulatory pressures, all those sort of things. And I see Niemann's Harvest Market as a small business that encourages the longevity of other small businesses. And it is a fight for small businesses to remain relevant. The costs are higher for small businesses because of a lot of different things. But I think as we close out this time together, that I just would want to encourage you all, if you've got a spare minute or two and you've not ever been out here, we're right off Keystone and 116th and Carmel. Yep. Come out and give it a shot. What would you say are 2 or 3 things that are unique that they could grab off of one of your shelves and throw on their Christmas dinner table? That would be a lot of fun for them.
The in-house butter is great. It's an A2 butter, which is for those of you that might have some lactose sensitivities, is a little bit easier for you to digest. And that is, we're partnered with Family Time Creamery out of Williamsburg, Indiana. So they give us the sweet cream. We turn the sweet cream into butter. That buttermilk we use to marinate our chicken and make buttermilk biscuits. So it touches a number of different things in the store. The butter is a very unique item that I would encourage that you could pick up this time of year. We've got some local meats from Fisher Farms out of St. Vincent, Indiana, as well as our Niemann Ranch beef out of Monroe City, Missouri. So those are some 2 things that you could pick up there as well. And then our scratch-made artisan breads and cookies out of the bakery shop. 'Tis the season, right, for sweets and things of that nature. Designed sugar cookies and all sorts of fun sweets and things out of the bakery shop. I think would be a few areas that I would target this holiday season.
Dan, Sean, you've been very gracious with your time. We appreciate it. We thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully we've given you some ideas to up your average this week. And we'll see you all next time.